Welcome to Poetry Corner. I am Bruce Janu. The Enlightenment followed the scientific revolution, capping off an era in which it was believed that science and logic can solve all problems. But then a group of young people rebelling against their parents' generation turned against science, against reason and logic. And what we get is the Romantic Age, an age in which people began looking at nature as supreme. Can't control nature, they argued. Nature is bigger than all of us. Although he was an important part of the Enlightenment, Jean-Jacques Rousseau did say that man is born free, and everywhere he is in chains. A return to nature is what he thought was best, but he also realized that that was not possible. Nonetheless, young people in the Romantic period did turn to nature, in poetry, in painting, and other art forms. Mary Shelley's Frankenstein is more about how dangerous science is. The villain is not the monster, but the doctor, who plays God, who messes with nature. And the consequences are horrible. Poe wrote a poem about science, a sonnet, actually, and in it he expresses typical romantic ideas about science. And that's what we're going to listen to today. So here it is. Sonnet to Science by Edgar Allan Poe. Science, true daughter of old time thou art, who alterest all things with thy peering eyes. Why preyest thou thus upon the poet's heart, vulture, whose wings are dull realities? How should he love thee, or how deem thee wise, who wouldest not leave him in his wandering to seek for treasure in the jeweled skies, albeit he soared with an undaunted wing? Hast thou not dragged Diana from her car, and driven the Hamadryad from the wood to seek a shelter in some happier star? Hast thou not torn the Naiad from her flood, the elfin from the green grass, and from me the summer dream beneath the tamarind tree? Sonnet to Science by Edgar Allan Poe. Poe isn't actually known for his sonnets, obviously. He only wrote 4. But this one is so romantic, in the Romantic era sense, that is. As the narrator of the poem, a poet, he is lamenting the role of science. Science, he says, has a dull reality, not a creative reality. And as a result, science steals from creative-minded people. Science has taken away from us the old myths and stories that have populated the human imagination for centuries. What's great is he brings up some of those myths, and the Romantics loved myth, loved the stories of the past. He brings up Elvin being driven from the wood. Romantics loved elves. He talked about Diana, the Roman goddess of the hunt, and also nymphs. Hamadryad, who lived in the trees in Greek mythology, and the Naiad, who lived in the water. Science and logic have banished them from memory, is what Poe is saying here. I think Poe here finds that science is too confining. Science lacks creativity. And perhaps picking a sonnet as a means to say this was also purposeful. A sonnet is confining. 14 lines, 10 syllables each. Maybe that is why Poe did not use this format much. Thanks for listening. Next week, we're going to listen to a couple more sonnets from Poe. More information about the show can be found at bellbookcamera.com. I can be reached at bruce@bellbookcamera.com. Would love to hear from you. Let us know what you think. You can subscribe to this podcast on every podcast platform. Tell your friends and join us next time as we jump into another great work of poetry from the master, Edgar Allan Poe. I am Bruce Janu.